love having Barry here. Of course, we're talking about a huge event that's coming up this holiday season. Happens every year. We're talking about TSO, Trans-Siberian Orchestra. You are always so excited about this, as are we. I mean, and this show is going to be probably bigger than we've ever seen.
Well, it's just the 17th year they've come to Cleveland. They broke out of Cleveland, and this show is called The Ghosts of Christmas Eve, which is really an amalgamation of all three of their opera, rock opera kind of shows that they did for their Christmas albums, based on the PBS special that they put out a number of years ago. And it's going to be the best of. You'll hear all the great songs like Christmas Eve Sarajevo, Music Box Blues, all of these phenomenal songs, and with new narration. Paul's just, like, I call him the wizard. He's unbelievable.
He is. Speaking of the wizard, we do have Mr. Paul O'Neill with us this morning. He's joining us via satellite. Paul, good to have you here with us today.
Hey, Natalie, it's great to hear your voice, and I love having Barry around. It's like Barry's been around since day one. Anything more, we'd have to put him on the cover of the albums, and it's like, he knows so much about TSO, I've become redundant. It's just like, send Barry out there.
Hey, so what can people expect this year? Barry obviously kind of explaining a little bit about what it's going to be like, but this really is a culmination of so much for TSO.
Yeah, no, it's correct. The Ghost of Christmas Eve was a television special we did for Fox in '99, where, we basically took, the best of, all three of the trilogy rock operas. And the second half is going to be also special because we're turning in the Letters from the Labyrinth, which is Trans-Siberian Orchestra's third, non-holiday rock opera. And, of course, Natalie, you love writing the songs, you love recording them, but it's not real until you get to play it in front of a live audience. And, of course, we love playing everywhere, but as Barry said, Cleveland is the birthplace of, live TSO touring, and so it's like coming home. And also December 30th, it's just a great date, all the pressure of Christmas is behind you, but, the excitement of New Year's Eve is still coming up. Most people have the week off or school off, so you just get to, kick back and relax. If you have to work, the next day, you catch the 3:30. If not, you catch the 8 p.m. And, if I can get, we can, collect enough money and we can get Barry up there to do a guitar solo, we'll take the show to a whole nother level.
Hey, you have been doing this now for 17 years. What is the secret? How early on in the year, as soon as you guys wrap this up, do you just start all over again?
Oh, it basically goes, 365 days a year because, the minute the winter tour stops, we either dive back into the studio and start working on the new albums, or we'll get ready to do the spring and the summer tours, in Europe. And actually, we just got back from headlining, Wacken, Germany, which is the largest rock festival in Europe every year. And they made us an offer we couldn't refuse. It's a 3-day event, and festivals have 2 headline stages. So when one headliner's on, the other one's getting ready, so there's no dead time. And last year they said, if we would play, they would give us, both headline stages on the opening night right after dark.
Wow.
And I'm like, you have my undivided attention. And so we, just built this humongous, production with this, the stage was barely, a little bit smaller than two football fields. And I've played a lot of stages where you couldn't see everybody in the audience. I've never played a stage where you can't see other band members. But it was great, The 80,000 kids had a great time, and now we're back and getting ready for the winter tour.
So aside from being able to speak with Barry and I this time every year, what is the most rewarding thing for you about doing this?
Oh wow, it changes every year. It's so funny because I just answered this for a question from Wacken. When we were, the night of the sound check, something went wrong, so I went wandering around the campsite, and I bumped in 60% of the audience was from Germany, the other 40 from all around the world, and I bumped into 2 young men, about 20, who, and I said, where are you from? And they said, they were from Iraq, and they were Sunni Muslim. And about half an hour later, I bumped into 2 young men, also about 20, 21, who were from Iran, Shiite Muslim. And, they weren't that far from each other. And if God forbid in 2 years from now, everybody knows the civil war that's going on in Syria, if these 4 young men found themselves in 2 different militia, facing each other down, if they recognized each other, I'd be willing to bet any amount of money that, one guy would say, hey, was I at a TSO show with you? Another guy, they wouldn't pull the trigger, they'd underchamber their weapons, they'd talk. It's hard to, shoot anybody, let alone hate anybody that you've been to a concert with, and that's the magic of music. It puts people together, breaks down all the walls that divides them, and, TSO has been doing this for 2 decades, and God willing, it'll keep going.
Hey, Paul, one of the other things that you do all over the country, and I don't want to forget telling people, $1 of every ticket sold goes to the St. Augustine Hunger Center, which is tremendous. And over the course of your 17 years of performing here, they've donated more than $400,000 locally here and $12 million nationally. It's a tribute to what the vision is of Trans-Siberian Orchestra, too. So thank you for that.
No, that's totally our pleasure, and thanks you Barry, for guiding us to them, because it's one thing to supply the money, but you guys make sure it actually gets to the people that need it, and it doesn't get skimmed off by accountants and lawyers and overhead.
Paul, thank you so much for joining us via satellite. I know you're a very busy man, have a lot going on, so it's always a pleasure to have you here on the show. Very excited for December 30th, that's for sure.
Totally our pleasure. Natalie, it's great to hear your voice. Barry, stay out of trouble. We'll see you in Cleveland.
All right, brother.
Sounds good. It really is so true. He's so right. Music is such a uniting force, and this time of year, especially in the giving season.
And especially this show. It really is about hope, redemption, and just a really good family experience. You should log on to fox8.com/contests, and there's a great contest there where you can win front row seats and a great VIP experience, and it runs for the rest of this month. Compliments of Fox 8.
Well, we'll have you back soon, I'm sure. Always a pleasure having you on
Natalie.
the show.